All right, so we're diving into the world of education administrators today.
Hmm.
Um, you're getting ready for an interview, right? And we're going to help you ace it.
Right.
We've got these fantastic resources from RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
Their career guide's got tons of insights about this behind-the-scenes role,
Hmm.
and their interview guide, loaded with practice questions. Think of it as your secret weapon.
It is really fascinating, this role. It's all about impact.
Oh, yeah.
Education administrators, they might not be in the classroom, but they're like the engine that keeps the entire institution, the whole educational institution running smoothly.
That's a good point. Like, they're conducting the whole orchestra of learning,
That's a great way to put it.
from managing budgets to like coordinating all those student events and things.
Yeah.
But before we like jump into the hot seat, the interview hot seat, let's paint a picture of what this role really is,
Yeah.
using RoleCatcher's career guide to kind of guide us.
Well, the scope section, that's a great place to start.
Right.
It highlights all the different kinds of tasks that fall under this umbrella, budgeting and facilities management, student activities, even some recruitment.
Wow, so it's not just about pushing papers, huh?
Definitely not. No, it's a lot of problem solving, collaboration, and even some creativity involved.
Cool.
And don't forget the human element.
Oh, right.
You're working with teachers, staff, parents, and of course, most importantly, the students.
Yeah, the students. That's where that impact section of the guide really hits home.
Yeah.
Really emphasizes like how education administrators contribute to creating like a positive and supportive learning environment.
It's really important.
So it's not just about logistics, it's about like, fostering that whole culture of learning and growth.
Absolutely. And that impact goes beyond just the students themselves.
Oh, okay.
Education administrators play a big role in supporting teachers, improving school systems, even shaping like the whole direction of the institution. It's a lot of responsibility, but there's a lot of potential there to make a difference.
That's true. Okay, so we've got a good idea of like the what, but let's get real. What's the work environment actually like, Is it all meetings and paperwork, or is there more,
Yeah.
something more dynamic going on?
Well, that's where the work environment section of RoleCatcher's guide is really handy.
Okay.
It gives you a realistic picture, talking about office work, interacting with different people, stakeholders, and even technology is a growing role.
Technology, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of tech skills should somebody in this role be ready for?
Well, think about databases for student information,
Yeah.
communication platforms to keep everybody on the same page.
Right.
And even things like learning management systems. Being comfortable with tech is definitely a plus in this field.
So it's not like your grandma's schoolhouse anymore.
It's definitely evolving.
Yeah. All right, so before we get too excited, let's talk about the interview, the elephant in the room.
Right.
RoleCatcher's interview guide, it's packed with sample questions. I think it's time to like jump into some of those.
Let's do it.
Ready to tackle a few.
Absolutely. Let's start with a classic, the tell me about your experience in education and why you're interested in this role.
Okay. Yeah.
Might seem straightforward, but this is your chance to really make a strong first impression.
Right. So it's not just about listing your past jobs, right?
No, definitely not. This is about showing your passion for education and connecting those experiences you've had to what the role actually needs. Think about the skills and knowledge you've gained that make you the right fit.
Okay, so like if I had experience managing, a team of teachers or developing a new curriculum, would that be relevant here?
Absolutely. Highlight those things and explain how they've prepared you for the challenges and responsibilities. And don't forget to talk about why you're really interested in supporting students, teachers, and the whole educational process.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's all about showing them, like, you're not just there for a paycheck. You're there to, like, make a difference.
Exactly.
Now, I know interviewers love to ask about your strengths and weaknesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
RoleCatcher has this one phrased as, what are your greatest strengths as an education professional, and how will they benefit our school?
Yeah, this is your time to shine. Think about those skills that are most relevant to the education administrator role,
Okay.
like leadership, communication, problem solving, organization.
Mm-hmm.
But don't just list them, back them up with concrete examples.
So, like, instead of just saying, I'm a great communicator,
Mm-hmm.
I could say, I'm skilled at facilitating meetings and building consensus among diverse groups.
Exactly.
And this is demonstrated by my success in, leading a school-wide committee to develop a new discipline policy.
Perfect example. You're not just making claims, you're demonstrating your abilities. And remember to connect those strengths to how they'll actually benefit the school.
Right, right.
How will your leadership improve teacher morale,
Yeah,
How will your organization skills streamline those administrative processes?
that makes sense. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this. But what about that breaded weakness question? The one everybody hates.
Right.
RoleCatcher puts it like this. Can you describe an area where you've faced challenges in your work and how you've addressed it?
This one can be tricky, but, everybody's got areas where they can grow. The key is to choose a weakness that's honest but manageable
Right.
and shows that you are committed to improving.
So should I just say, I'm a perfectionist and I work too hard?
Oh, no, please don't.
Okay.
Those are cliches that they've heard a million times.
Right.
Choose something specific. Maybe you've struggled with delegating tasks in the past, or you're working on, your data analysis skills.
Okay.
And then explain what you've done to address it.
So I could say something like, I've had challenges with time management in the past, but I've implemented strategies to improve my efficiency, like prioritizing tasks, using a scheduling system.
Exactly. You acknowledge the weakness, but you also show that you're self-aware and you're proactive about improvement.
Right.
And guess what? Time management, that is a crucial skill for education administrators, so you've shown them you're working on a key area.
Ooh, that's good. Okay. This is great. I'm feeling much more prepared already. But before we go on to more questions, let's take a little detour
Okay.
and talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can help us tailor our answers to specific job roles.
This is where the technology becomes your secret weapon.
Ooh, nice.
RoleCatcher's AI, it can actually analyze job descriptions and give you really targeted insights
Wow.
to help you craft those responses. It's like having a personalized interview coach right there in your pocket.
So it's not just like generic advice. It actually looks at the specific job I'm applying for.
Exactly. The AI picks out those key skills and experiences that the employer's looking for and helps you frame your answers in a way that shows your strengths.
Cool.
It aligns with the position. It can even give you feedback on practice videos,
Wow.
help you polish your delivery.
That's amazing. It's like having a behind-the-scenes advantage.
It really is.
Okay. Back to those interview questions. Now, I know education administrators work with a lot of different people, right? Teachers, parents, students, community members even. So how do we address that in the interview?
Well, RoleCatcher has a question that gets right to the heart of that.
Okay.
It asks, describe your approach to building relationships with various stakeholders in the school community.
So it's not just about being like nice to people.
It's more than that. It's about understanding the needs of each group, communicating effectively, building trust,
Right.
and creating a collaborative environment.
So I could talk about my experience, like leading parent-teacher conferences or working with community organizations, or even like implementing programs to improve communication between teachers and administrators.
Exactly. Highlight those experiences, explain how you've successfully built relationships in the past,
Okay.
and don't forget to mention things like active listening, empathy, and finding common ground.
Okay, I'm making a note of that. Active listening, empathy, common ground.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, what about those tricky situational questions? The ones where they put you in a hypothetical scenario
Yeah.
and they ask how you would handle it?
RoleCatcher's got a great example of that.
Okay.
It says, imagine a teacher comes to you with a concern about a student who's struggling academically and showing some behavioral issues.
Yeah.
How would you approach this situation?
Ooh, okay. This feels like a real-life challenge. Where do we even begin?
Well, first, take a deep breath.
Okay.
Remember, they don't expect you to have all the answers.
Right.
They want to see how you think, your problem-solving skills, and your ability to work together with others to find solutions.
So I shouldn't just jump in and say I'd suspend the student.
Probably not the best approach.
Okay, good to know.
This is about taking a more holistic approach.
Okay.
You start by acknowledging the teacher's concerns and gathering information. What are the specific issues?
Right.
What support is already there?
So I could say something like, I would first meet with the teacher to get a better understanding of the student's challenges, and then I would review the student's academic and behavioral records, consult with other professionals like the school counselor.
Perfect.
Or the special education teacher.
You're demonstrating a thoughtful and collaborative approach. And don't forget to mention involving the student's parents or guardians.
Right. This is about finding solutions that support the student and their academic success.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm feeling more confident about tackling these questions now.
That's great to hear. And remember, the more you practice, the better you'll get at articulating your thoughts and showing your skills.
This has been so helpful. We've covered so much in this first part, from understanding the role of an education administrator to tackling those tough interview questions.
It's a lot to cover.
Don't worry, we've got plenty more to discuss in part 2, including those tricky budget questions, leadership styles, and how to really show your passion for education.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. See you soon.
See you then. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of education administrators. We're still navigating this interview landscape using those great insights from RoleCatcher's guides.
And we're not just talking about, like, acing the basic questions. We're getting into, like, the nitty-gritty of what makes a candidate stand out,
Yeah.
Last time we talked about, like, experience and strengths, those big picture questions.
Right.
But now I want to get into the more specific challenges that you face in this role.
That's a great point. Let's look at some questions that really test a candidate's understanding of, how complex an educational environment can be.
Okay, yeah, that's good. RoleCatcher has this one that I thought was really interesting. It says, describe a time you had to implement a new policy or initiative and what steps you took to make sure it was successful. This feels like a real test of leadership and problem solving,
Absolutely. It's not enough to just have a good idea. You need to know how to make it happen within a school system.
Right.
This question is all about showing that you can plan, communicate, get people on board, and adapt when things get tough.
So should I just, like, describe the policy and assume the interviewer, like, understands all the steps?
Oh, no.
Okay.
You've got to be specific about the challenges you face, the decisions you made,
Right.
the actions you took to get over those obstacles. Like, did you have to get teachers to buy in? Did you need to adjust the plan based on feedback? Those are the details that really bring your experience to life.
Right, okay. So let's say I was implementing a new technology initiative.
Okay.
Could I say something like, well, I started by researching the different technology options and getting feedback from teachers about their needs and concerns. And then I developed, like, a pilot program to test the technology with a small group of students before rolling it out school-wide.
That's a great start. You've hit those key steps. Research, feedback, piloting. But to really make it shine, you need to talk about specific challenges and how you overcame them.
Okay.
Did teachers push back against the new technology? Were there budget problems? Did you have to provide professional development?
Right, those real-world details that shows you can handle the complexity.
Yeah.
Now, I know education administrators, they have to be really good at handling those tough conversations and navigating conflict.
Oh, absolutely.
RoleCatcher has this question. It says, tell me about a time you had to resolve a conflict between two staff members.
Conflict resolution, that's a crucial skill in any leadership role.
Right.
But especially in a school. Things can get emotional. The interviewer wants to see that you can stay calm, listen to people, and find solutions that work for everyone.
Okay, so should I, like, mention a specific conflict resolution model or strategy?
Well, it's good to be familiar with different strategies, but really the focus should be on what you did and what the outcome was.
Okay.
Start by just briefly describing the situation and then explain the steps you took to understand each person's perspective and then how you helped them communicate and find a solution.
Okay, so let's say there was a conflict between two teachers and they disagreed about how to handle a student's behavior.
Okay.
Could I say, I met with each teacher individually to hear their concerns, and then I facilitated a joint meeting where they could respectfully share their perspectives and try to come up with solutions together.
Excellent. You highlighted those key steps. Individual meetings, a joint meeting, focusing on respect. To really take it to the next level, you could mention some specific strategies you used.
Okay.
Like active listening or reframing. And of course, you want to describe the solution you reached and how it helped both teachers and the student.
Right. It's about bringing people together.
Exactly.
Finding that common ground. Now, another challenge, I think, for education administrators is working with a limited budget.
Oh, for sure.
RoleCatcher has this question. It asks, how would you prioritize spending in a situation with limited resources?
This is all about showing that you can make tough decisions, balance those competing needs, and really advocate for what matters most.
Yeah.
They want to see that you understand the financial side of running a school,
Right.
but that you're still committed to giving students a good education.
So should I just say, like, I'd cut all the fun stuff and focus only on academics?
Not necessarily. While academics are obviously important,
Right.
there are other things to think about too, like student safety, mental health support, extracurriculars. That's where your own values and leadership style come in.
Okay, so how do I answer this without sounding like I'm just gonna, like, slash and burn everything except textbooks?
Start by talking about your general philosophy about resources. Do you focus on programs that have been proven to work?
Right.
Do you get input from different people? And then give specific examples of how you'd apply those principles when money is tight.
Okay, so I could say something like, I believe in using data to make decisions about the budget, so we're putting money towards programs that really make a difference for students. And I would also make sure to involve teachers, parents, and people from the community
Yeah.
in those decisions, so we're meeting everybody's needs.
That's a fantastic start. You're showing that you value data and you want people to have a say. To make it even better,
Okay.
you could add specific examples about how you'd prioritize. Would you try to keep class sizes small? Invest in teacher training?
Yeah.
Maybe find creative partnerships with community groups to get more resources.
Those are all great points. It's about showing you can think strategically and make hard choices, but still stay true to those values and, your commitment to helping students succeed.
Exactly.
Now, I know education administrators also have to be able to, like, think on their feet and handle those unexpected situations.
For sure.
RoleCatcher has this question that I think really puts that to the test. It says, describe a time you had to handle a crisis or emergency situation at school.
This is where you really show your leadership and your ability to stay calm under pressure.
Right.
They want to see that you can assess the situation quickly, make decisions, communicate clearly, and keep everyone safe.
Okay. This feels a little intense. I'm trying to think of a specific example.
Not everyone will have been through a major crisis, and that's okay. The important thing is to show your thought process and how you solve problems.
Okay.
Think about a time when something unexpected happened and you had to act fast.
Okay, I remember one time there was a power outage at our school during a really bad storm.
Okay.
Could I use that?
Absolutely. Describe what happened briefly, then focus on what you did to keep students safe, communicate with parents, and coordinate with staff. Did you have to use emergency procedures?
Okay.
Come up with new solutions on the spot?
Yeah.
Did you work with other administrators to manage it all?
Right. It's about showing you can stay calm, make good decisions, and take action in a tough spot.
Exactly.
This deep dive into interview questions has really helped me get a sense of everything this role involves.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful as you prep.
It really can.
It can look at job descriptions to figure out the specific skills and experience that are most important for each role, and then help you tailor your answers to show off your strengths.
It's like a personalized prep team in your pocket.
Exactly. Okay, we've covered a lot here, but we're not done yet. In part 3, we're going to explore even more challenging interview questions.
So exciting.
Delve into those leadership styles and discover how to leave a great impression on those hiring committees. So see you soon for part 3.
See you then.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of education administrators. We've been tackling those tough interview questions, with some help from RoleCatcher's awesome guides.
We've covered so much, from dealing with conflicts to figuring out budgets, but an interview isn't just about showing off your skills and experience, is it?
No, you're right. It's also about conveying that passion you have for education, your vision, and how you fit in with the school's mission.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Let's dig into some questions that really get at those things.
Okay, good. RoleCatcher has one. It asks, what is your educational philosophy, and how does it match up with our school's mission?
Yeah.
This feels like one where you really need to show you get their values and how you fit into that.
You're absolutely right. It's not enough to just have some general philosophy about education. You have to show that you've done your homework, You understand what this particular school is all about, their goals and their priorities.
So should I spend time on their website, reading their mission statement, looking at their programs?
Absolutely. The more you know about their culture and values, the better you can tailor your answer to show you're a perfect fit.
Right. Okay. So let's say I'm interviewing at a school that's all about hands-on learning and community involvement.
Okay.
Could I say something like, I believe that students learn best by doing, and that having a strong connection between the school and the community is really important for kids to succeed. And this, lines up perfectly with your school's focus on things like project-based learning and those community partnerships.
That's an excellent way to put it. You connected your philosophy to their specific values and programs. That shows you're not just looking for any job, you're genuinely interested in them.
Yeah, I'm seeing how important it is to, like, personalize those answers. Now, what about those questions that are trying to figure out your leadership style?
Hmm.
RoleCatcher mentions they often ask something like, how would you describe your leadership style?
This is your chance to show how you lead and motivate people. Think about what makes you effective. Are you collaborative, data-driven,
Mhm.
visionary?
So I shouldn't just say, I'm a great leader and leave it at that.
No, no, no. Use some specific examples to illustrate your style.
Okay.
Have you led a team to reach a goal? Mentored a colleague? Implemented a new initiative?
Okay, so let's say I'm known for being like a really collaborative leader.
Okay.
Can I say, I believe in giving my team members the power to share their ideas and make decisions.
Hmm.
I try to build a culture of open communication and mutual respect, and I really believe everyone has something valuable to contribute.
That's a fantastic example.
Yeah.
You described your style and gave those concrete examples of how you do it. You even highlighted values like collaboration and respect, which are so important in a school.
Now, I know education administrators have to be constantly learning and growing, right?
Absolutely.
RoleCatcher has this question. How do you stay up to date on the latest trends and developments in education?
This is where you show your dedication to professional development. The interviewer wants to see that you're excited about education and actively looking for ways to improve your skills and knowledge.
So I shouldn't just say, like, I read a lot of books.
Well, while reading is good, be more specific about your resources.
Okay.
Are there certain journals or websites you follow? Do you go to conferences or workshops? Are you part of any professional organizations?
Okay, so I could mention specific publications like Educational Leadership or ASCD's Educational Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And I could talk about attending conferences like the National Principals Conference or the ASA National Conference on Education.
Exactly. By naming those resources and events, you're proving you're staying informed and involved in the newest trends in education.
This is so helpful. I'm feeling way more prepared to, like, really show my passion for education and that commitment to growing professionally. But before we wrap up, I wanted to touch on one more thing.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI-powered feedback tool. How can that help me get ready for those behavioral questions? The ones that are a little trickier.
That's a great question. RoleCatcher's AI can actually watch your practice videos and give you feedback
Oh, wow.
on your delivery, your pacing, eye contact, even body language.
That's cool.
It can also help you pinpoint areas to improve your content, like maybe giving more specific examples or connecting your skills to the job requirements more directly.
So it's like having a virtual interview coach.
Exactly. It's an incredibly valuable tool for anyone who really wants to nail that interview.
Wow. This deep dive into the world of education administrators has been incredible. We've explored, like, all the different sides of the role, and we've got strategies to tackle those tough interview questions.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah. Remember, the key is to prepare thoroughly, do your research on the school, be yourself, and let that passion for education shine through.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher's resources,
Those are great.
including their AI feedback tool. It's like having a secret weapon going into that interview.
To all those future education leaders out there, we wish you the best of luck in your interviews.
Your dedication to shaping the future of education is inspiring.
Go out there and make a difference.